To customize your chart of accounts, click on the Setup menu and then Chart of Accounts. The Account Setup window is organized into 5 categories: Assets, Liabilities, Equity, Income, and Expense. To see the accounts in a category, click on the appropriate tab. When I click on the Income tab, we'll see a good example of the 5 types of accounts I can create. The 5 types are Header, Total, Detail, Primary, and Subaccount. 4,000 green sales is a header account. Anything found between header and total accounts will be added as a subtotal to any report. In this example, my header account is green sales, and my total account is total green sales. Therefore, on my income and expense report, I'll see a subcategory with a subtotal that says green sales. Within the green sales and total green sales header and total account, we will find detail accounts. Hard red spring sales is an example of a detail account. This is where I'll be able to put all the hard red spring wheat that I sold. If I have an account that requires further detail, such as my barley sales, I can also add subaccounts. Because I have 2 types of barley, malt and feed, I need to add a little more precision to the barley sales. To accomplish this, I've set up barley sales as a primary account, with malt and feed set up as my subaccounts. All the actual numbers will be placed into malt or feed, and at the end of this example, we'll have a total in the barley sales section. From the account setup screen, I can also add, edit, delete, or renumber accounts. If I'd like to change the opening balance, I can do so for any account in the Assets, Liabilities, or Equity tab. For income and expenses, I cannot change the opening balance. Let's try adding an account. Let's say that I have a second bank account. I click on the Assets tab, and I have to first decide where I would like to put this account. I'm going to make this account number 1101 to make sure that it shows up between my bank checking account and my bank savings account. I'm going to click the Add button, and I'm going to make this number 1101. Remember, there are 5 types of classes. I'm going to choose the Detail class because this is going to be its own account. I click on the Create Account button, and there are 4 types in this particular class: Asset, Bank Account, Capital Asset, and Inventory. This is going to be a bank account. My account description will be New Checking Account. And now it's asking me for my next check number. So I look at my checkbook, and it's going to be check number 315. And I'll click on Save. We just entered a bank account, which required very little information on the Add screen. However, there are other accounts under different categories that require more information. Let's return to the Income tab, and I'll click on the hard red spring sales account, and I'll show you what information is required for income. I'll click on the Edit button. Now, by using the Edit button, you can change the account description for any account at any time. Then I have to answer questions such as, do I use GST or PST on this account? Is this income 100% business related? And do I need to have an automatic inventory update? Finally, it asks me for the line number of the T2042, which is your statement of farming income, and the T1163, which is agri-stability. If you've used AgExpert to set up this account, those numbers are already there. However, if you need to change it, you can click on the button beside the number and then find it in the list. Keep in mind that you will only ever use one report or the other. You will never use both. On the right-hand side, you have your enterprise splits. These enterprises are set up in a separate category under the Setup screen. Because this is hard red spring income, this is correct. 100% Grains Enterprise. Once you have completed your setup, click the Save button. Your changes have now been applied to the account. The next button is the Delete button. In order to delete an account, it must have a 0 balance and no transactions during any fiscal year. To delete an account, you select it, and then you click the Delete button. You will always receive a confirmation screen that says, "Are you sure you want to delete this account?" If you are sure, click Yes. If the account you'd like to delete has ever had transactions posted to it, you are not able to delete it. You can, however, choose to make the account inactive by clicking on Edit. Then, deselect the active checkbox. While the account will still exist, it will no longer show up in any selection list. Next, you can organize your chart of accounts by renumbering any account in your list. For example, I can select Marketing Charges in the Expense section and click on Renumber. I'm going to tell the system to use number 5185-00 and click on OK. Marketing charges are now located immediately after feed grains expense. I can also renumber an account to make it a sub-account, as long as the primary is already set up. I'm going to select Mixed Hay and renumber it as 5180-04. Mixed Hay is now located as a sub-account to feed grains expense rather than hay expense. The last button on the account setup screen is the opening balance button. You'll only use this if you need to change the opening balance for one of your accounts. Let's say that my operating loan was incorrect. I'm going to click on the Liabilities tab and then on the operating loan. And I'll click on the opening balance button to change the balance. Now, my opening balance says $1,500. But my accountant has told me that it should have been $1,300 and that the difference belongs in my checking account. Therefore, I'll change the offsetting account to my checking account. Quickly review what you're doing and then click on the Save button. When you have completed working with your chart of accounts, click on Close.